Hi there fabric jugglers, it's Babs here from Fiery Phoenix, and in this tutorial I'm going to be following on from the simple to sew shopping bag that I did as the last update. And what I'm going to do is show you how to box the corners of this bag so that you end up with a squarer carrying bag rather than one that's just flat and narrow. So stick around and I'll show you how to do that. The first thing that we need is to turn our bag inside out. We'll be working on the inside of the bag, which means we get to look at these lovely French seams again. And we will also need something to mark on the fabric, just so that you can follow a line as you're sewing the corners in, and a tape measure or a ruler, just so that you can make sure that the bottom of the bag is even across the base. So what we're going to be doing is finding our corner, opening it out so that we have the point, the centre point here. Let's move that around a bit. The centre point down there, and we're going to make sure that this is flat underneath and pulled out. And the distance here is the width of the boxing. So if you only want about 1 inch or so at the bottom, which will give you 2 inches, is 1 inch either side of the seam, then you start low down. But I'm actually looking for something that's going to be about 4 inches. So I want 2 inches across. So I need to find where that is, and then mark a line. So let's see if we can. So what we have is the bag base opened out, and there's the side seam. This is the bottom of the bag, and we need to make sure that we are evenly marking across each side. We want the same distance on the left and the right, so that the bag has a nice even base. And I want to have 2 inches either side, so I need to move the ruler down, or the measure, until I reach that 4 inch line, and then mark across using whatever you've got that's going to mark the fabric. And this isn't showing up incredibly clearly, so what I'll do, pin it along that line so that I can see where I'm going to be sewing. And then just double check that is accurate, and then we'll flip the bag around and do the same on the other end. So we start out with the corner of the bag, so that's the base of the bag here, and this is the seam of the bag. We're going to turn it around so that the corner is facing us, the bottom is underneath, and we're going to pull that seam out so that we get this nice point. And we want the corner of the bag to be at the base of this point, and then I'll make sure that seam, in this case is a French seam, but that seam is actually central. And again we come up and we mark it across. I'm going to pin across at the 4 inch mark, which on this side is that line, and on the other side I need to just mark that in. And then this is going to be our sewing line. I'll sew across at the 4 inch line, and I'll show you how we do that. So here we are with the central seam line. We've still got everything pointed. We're making sure that there are no bags or sags or wrinkles. And then we can start to sew along. Now back stitch carefully at the end, just to secure that thread. And then just do a straight stitch across. Now if you need to, or if you feel you want to, you can reinforce it by back stitching the entire length again, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to back stitch at the edges just to give it a little bit more support. So that's one side done, and then come around and repeat on the other side. move that out of the way. Switch off the sewing machine. So now that we have sewn across the base of the bag, we can snip away the extra threads. Just to keep things a little bit tidier. And you can either leave these corners in your bag, or you can snip them out. Now, bearing in mind that everything else in this bag has has enclosed raw edges, I would be very loath to cut away those edges. So I'm going to actually just leave them in. But by doing that, you now have a bag with a nice flat base, which gives you a much squarer look to the bag, and it's you can press it so that you've got the corners lining up so they look like they're pressed, so they look like they're a squarer bag. But really, just by putting that piece across the bottom on each of the sides has given you a much larger, squarer, flat bottom bag. So for an extra 5 minutes or so of effort, you can get a bag that looks like it's got a lot more capacity. Obviously the inside is still the same size as it was, but now it's going to be nicely sized to take bottles of milk, and they can fit snugly into the corners without falling over. So hopefully you can see that this is a bag that has a decent amount of space in it. So I pop the rest of my shopping in just to give you an idea. And it's a nice sturdy bag, it's a strong bag, and you can use it for just about any kind of shopping. Don't need to worry about it. If anything leaks or breaks, you can just pop the entire bag in the laundry and clean it out. But hopefully that was a really quick and simple way of showing you how to box the corners of a bag. If you're interested in the tutorial on actually creating the bag itself, I'll pop a link in the description and somewhere around the video. And if you're interested in any of the other bags that I make that are slightly more aesthetically pleasing than this very basic shopping bag, pop over to my website or just have a look around for other tutorials that I've run. So if you like this, give it a thumbs up, and hopefully I'll see you again. Bye for now.